My brother quit his job after he saw my salary, then moved into my home uninvited. My name's Ethan Cole. I'm 32, and I thought I finally had my life figured out. A stable job in Dallas as a cybersecurity analyst, my own two-bedroom apartment downtown, and peace, the kind of quiet peace you can only buy after years of grinding. But peace doesn't last long when your family smells success. I come from a small town in Oklahoma, the kind of place where people still measure worth in gossip and pickup trucks. Growing up, it was just me, my mom, and my younger brother, Jason. Mom worked night shifts as a nurse. Jason, well, he was always the charming one, lazy, but funny enough to get away with it. When I got a scholarship and moved out, Jason stayed behind, bouncing from job to job. Every time I'd visit, he'd say the same thing. Man, Ethan, you're lucky. Some people just get all the breaks. He never saw the nights I spent coding until 3 a.m., or the weekends I skipped sleep to study. After a decade of grinding, I landed a six-figure salary. It wasn't flashy money, but for me, the kid who used to count coins for lunch, it meant everything. I bought Mom a new fridge, paid off her medical bills, and even sent Jason a small loan when he said he was between jobs. Then one weekend, Jason visited me in Dallas. He walked in, looked around my apartment, the leather couch, the view, the setup, and I could feel the jealousy before he even said it. "Damn, bro," he said, half laughing. "You really made it, huh? How much you pulling in these days?" I shrugged, trying to play it down. "Enough to live comfortable." He smirked. "Come on, man. Give me a number." Stupidly, I did. I told him. His eyes widened like he'd just found buried treasure. That night he was unusually quiet. 2 days later, he called me saying he'd quit his job at the auto shop, said he was meant for bigger things. I had a bad feeling. I just didn't know how bad it would get. Because a week later, I heard a knock on my apartment door. And when I opened it, there he was. Suitcase in hand, grinning. "Surprise, bro. Just need to crash here for a little while till I figure things out." I should have said no right there. But blood makes you stupid. And that decision, it cost me more than rent. It cost me my peace. At first, I tried to convince myself it was temporary. Jason said he'd just stay for a few days. But his few days stretched into weeks, and then into months. He took over my couch like it was his throne, left pizza boxes on the counter, socks on the table, and beer cans everywhere. Every morning, I'd wake up early for work and find him still snoring, TV blaring some random YouTube channel. One night I came home from a 10-hour shift, and he greeted me with, "Bro, you gotta relax. You're too uptight for a guy making that kind of cash." The nerve. He hadn't paid a single bill, yet somehow managed to drain my groceries faster than I could restock. When I hinted about rent, he brushed it off. "Come on, man. Family doesn't charge family." But what really broke me wasn't the mess. It was the audacity. I started noticing little things. My cologne missing, my hoodie gone, my gaming laptop mysteriously logged out of. Then one day, while checking my work emails, I saw something that made my stomach drop. A job application from Jason Cole using my professional reference and my resume template. He'd copied my entire work history, just changed the name. When I confronted him, he laughed. "Bro, it's not stealing. It's inspiration." That was the first time I yelled. "Jason, you quit your job, moved into my place, and now you're faking my resume?" He shrugged. "It worked for you. Why can't it work for me?" That night I couldn't sleep. The kid I used to protect, the brother I once covered for when he wrecked Dad's car, had become a leech, feeding on everything I built. Then it got worse. A week later, I got a call from my HR department. Someone had tried to log into my company account using my credentials from my home network. I didn't need to guess who it was. When I came home that evening, Jason was on my laptop. "Just checking my emails," he said casually. But the open browser tab said otherwise. "Cybersecurity analyst, application in progress." That's when I lost it. "Pack your bags," I told him. "You're done here." He smirked. "You'd kick your own brother out?" "Wow, you've changed, man." I looked him dead in the eye. "No, you did the next morning. I left for work early. When I came back, my PS5, my smartwatch, and $800 in cash were gone. So was Jason. And that's when the real revenge began. For 2 days, I was furious. Not just because of what Jason stole, but because of what he ruined. The trust, the memories, the blood tie that I thought still meant something. I called his phone, straight to voicemail. Checked his socials. Gone. He'd blocked me, probably thinking I'd just move on. But he underestimated how far I'd go when someone messed with me. I filed a police report, gave them the serial numbers of my PS5 and smartwatch, and provided my home's Wi-Fi logs that showed his login attempts. They said they'd look into it. But I knew bureaucracy moves slow, so I started digging myself. I logged into our family cloud account, the one Mom still used to share photos. And guess what? Jason had accidentally synced his phone to it years ago, which meant his location data was still backing up there. And just like that, there he was, 20 minutes away, staying at a cheap rental near downtown. I didn't storm in. I didn't call him. I waited. I needed something smarter than just anger. So I called my buddy Marcus, a cybersecurity consultant. Together, we traced the accounts Jason had tried accessing using my credentials. He'd used my name to apply for 3 jobs, created fake PayPal accounts, and even opened a credit line under my info. That was identity theft, a federal offense. But instead of turning him in immediately, I decided to let him hang himself. Marcus helped me set up a digital trap, a decoy account under my name that looked like a high-balance savings account. We placed subtle digital breadcrumbs in Jason's email, like fake verification links. And, as expected, he took the bait. Within 24 hours, he clicked on everything. That was enough proof. We handed all the digital evidence, IP addresses, timestamps, and fake account activity to the detective handling my report. And within a week, I got a call that Jason had been arrested for fraud and identity theft. When I saw his name in the police report, it didn't feel good. It felt hollow. A few weeks later, Dad called me. He'd heard what happened. "Son," he said, "you did what you had to. But don't let anger make you like him." That hit me, because deep down, I wasn't angry anymore. I was tired. Jason had spent his life blaming everyone else for his failures, and now he'd finally faced something he couldn't manipulate: consequences. Months later, I found peace in an unexpected way. I took the same energy I'd wasted on being mad and started mentoring local teens about financial responsibility and digital safety. Because if there's one thing I learned from this, it's that family doesn't always mean loyalty. And sometimes, the sweetest revenge is living free from the people who try to drain your soul. It's been 8 months since Jason's arrest. The chaos has settled, but the silence he left behind, it's louder than I expected. Dad still calls once a week, always careful with his words. He never asks about Jason, but I can hear the weight in his voice. The ache of a father watching one son fall while another barely stands. Sometimes I scroll through old pictures of us, me and Jason on our bikes, Christmas mornings, those blurry birthday photos where we looked like teammates instead of rivals. And every time, I feel the same sting. Somewhere along the way, love got replaced by envy, and family turned into a scoreboard. I visited Dad last Sunday. The diner was half empty, same flickering neon sign, same smell of burnt coffee and old hope. He wiped down the counter and said quietly, "You did what I couldn't." I asked him what he meant. He looked at me, tired eyes, proud smile. "You stopped letting Jason use your heart like a doormat." That hit harder than I expected. Because for years, I thought being the good brother meant forgiving everything. But now I realize, forgiveness doesn't mean access. Some people belong in your prayers, not your life. A few days ago, I got a letter from Jason, mailed from the halfway house he's been placed in. He wrote, "Greater than I was jealous, man. You worked hard, and I thought the world owed me what you earned. I don't expect forgiveness, but thank you for making me face it." I read it twice. No tears, no anger, just peace. I folded it up and tucked it inside my desk drawer, not because I want to remember the pain, but because I want to remember what it taught me. That success isn't about money. It's about boundaries. It's about knowing when to help and when to let go. I still drive past the diner sometimes, thinking of all the years Dad and I held the line together while Jason drifted. And as the city lights reflect off my windshield, I finally feel it. Not revenge, not triumph, just quiet closure. Because in the end, the sweetest revenge isn't proving them wrong. It's proving to yourself that you were right to walk away.